Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a bonus general message. Everybody stay cool, protect yourselves from the heat waves that I know are going on in the northern hemisphere right now. I'm in the midst of one as well. And so, um, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope that you're enjoying cooler temperatures, but lots of love to everybody out there. Okay, we start with the star sideways. By the way, I will be doing zodiacs tonight, okay, guys? But after this, I'll have to leave for a while. I'll be gone several hours doing other things, then I'll be back. The Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles upright. We have the question mark of whether or not somebody is really going to reach that great wish fulfillment. But the thing is, where they're already at is freaking fantastic. We have got somebody in a tremendous amount of success. They're feeling pretty darn good about themselves, pretty snazzy. And to top it off, they just might be able to like skyrocket into another level of success. So a Nine of Pentacles is great. It's not a 10, right? This is somebody who usually comes across to me as single and yet wanting for nothing, single, super abundant, feels empowered, blood red dress with a tangerine caftan over it, just beautiful outfit, beautiful bold colors, chatty happy colors, powerful leadership colors. So we have somebody in really good energy vibe right now. Interestingly enough, we have a Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. This is somebody who, as good as they're doing, they don't feel that way. Why does our Queen of Pentacles feel like they still haven't been successful when everyone who sees them would say, what do you mean? They're doing awesome. The Fool, because there's some leap of faith that they want to take and maybe they know that they need to take. And if they're holding back from doing it, they're kind of like judging themselves. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, what is it that you say you need to just go ahead and do? You got something that you got to do. Well, Ten of Pentacles, she needs to either maybe open up to collaborating with another person instead of being her single self. Maybe this is somebody I hope this isn't somebody judging themselves for being single, but there is an element where maybe she's been holding back. Maybe deep down she's been kind of worried about getting into some long-term commitment. Maybe that's always been the thing that she wasn't 100% sure of. We got the dogs here, so there is this element of like loyalty and to give and receive loyalty. I'm wondering if that's like a fear factor, because she's definitely been holding back. It feels like we have a character who's like, I know that I'm okay on my own, but if I give to somebody else, that's the scary part, because will it last? Now, this could also be a risk in business, a risk in opening something up and doing something that would involve others, because we actually see multiple people here. This could be she's doing really well in the bracket that she currently operates in. And the reason I'm going down the road of potentially business related stuff is because we have a more dominant energy in Pentacles in this story so far, and so it could be money related. Granted, our one major arcana is our Aquarius energy of the star, but even that could still be very business related. Like, can she make it to the stars and be super successful? Yes. But right now, this could also be about relationship. But again, the relationships could pertain to would you want to do more in a business endeavor? Four of Swords, there is she hasn't spoken about this. She's only thought about it. She goes over it in her head. There could be an element, if this is about relationship, if this is about a character who is single, and although she's good being single, she kind of judges herself for not having found that Ten of Pentacles relationship, but deep down there is a wound inside of her, and that's secretly why she hasn't yet been in a Ten of Pentacles relationship with someone, and there's been a little bit of a fear for her to like put herself out there again. We could be dealing with that story. Him or her, doesn't matter. Okay, so we have her shifting into the Queen of Swords. She has put up more boundaries and been very, this is probably how she's been successful, is because she's used her mind, like the diamond that it is, but sharp enough to like cut through things, right? She's somebody that I think she turned off the ooey gooey mushy part of herself. You notice that we don't have emotions in this at all. We have grounded energy with the pentacles, and we have cerebral energy with the sword stuff that we're seeing. We do have some passion with the Fool, but, and I'm sorry, I said we only have the Star card isn't major. We have the Fool sitting right there in front of me. I would still argue that we have Three of Pentacles in the reverse. She thinks when she joins forces with somebody else, it always goes to hell in a handbasket. Everything she's trying to build falls apart. Every time she's tried to collaborate and cooperate with somebody, they sink her life like a freaking missile strike for a submarine or something. I don't know why she thinks that. I feel compelled to go with a totally different deck here. Can I get one card here? Nope, I can get two. Drunkard and journalist. Okay, so maybe she dealt with individuals that, if she tried to connect with others, maybe she ended up with people that she couldn't quite rely on, people that had some of their own struggles. This to me says, maybe somebody literally is a journalist, but I think this is more her behavior. She feels like she has to really do like investigative, getting to know somebody to discover what's, who are they? Can she rely on them? I feel like maybe she either had someone in her life in the past that was someone who struggled with their own, sobriety or anything along the lines of, um, any substance that could have made them less likely to be someone she could rely on or count on because they were dealing with some of their own struggles, which everybody has their own struggles to, different extents, right? But it kind of seems as if, since she's so guarded, either these are some of her own struggles or she has learned to, it's like she fears connecting with somebody because what if they're unreliable, or what if there's somebody that, I don't know if she had an unstable background in her life at some point, whether that was in the family life, as childhood, or whether that was a partner. But I feel like she is unwilling, or has been unwilling, to jeopardize the stability that she's created for herself, even though she judges herself for not having a partner. Deep down, what we're seeing is she has a deep fear of, what if I connect with somebody and their struggles sink the bit of stability I made? So let me put it this way. Say she was a character who maybe she had a very unstable childhood because of parents that had their own struggles and issues. And so as an adult, without realizing it, she goes on to create tremendous stability in her life. And she kind of promises herself, I'm not going to go through lack of stability. I'm not going to deal with those things. But what she didn't maybe realize until this point in her maturity is that her striving for excellence and finding stability has also created like this protective shell around herself that she didn't realize she'd put in place, where there's a subconscious belief that as long as I just take care of what I can manage and I don't let another person in who could jeopardize all that, because deep down I always think another person will jeopardize it, and it'll be the same destructive energy that I dealt with in childhood. Maybe she's just now starting to realize that that's why she's still single. That's why she's alone. This is not sad, like, ooh, well, this is her problem. It's not that. It's more like she is acknowledging some things, because the Queen of Swords is really astute, right? They're gonna look at, what is my wound, instead of me judging myself and being mean to myself, like, why is it that I'm still single? My life is good. I'd like to have partnership, but I'm not in one, because deep down what I'm realizing is I don't really ever want to take the leap, even though I do, but at the same time I don't. Where is that really coming from? Okay, there is a wound. What is my wound? It's that deep down, I always think if I join forces with somebody, then when I start to rely on them, if they have their own struggles, it could, fall apart because I remember what childhood was like. So it could be that kind of a story where she's just now kind of realizing that that's where a big fear comes from. Okay, so let me see. Well, she's moving on from that. If she's acknowledging that, um, looking at it as a Queen of Swords does, Queen of Swords is, like very cerebral, very detailed, and very straightforward with themselves and with the entire situation. She can now free herself from that. Because if it's just a thought process, it's just a mindset, she is able to break it down, see where it's coming from, and say, all right, then I'm going to do it a little different from here on out. This is definitely looking at the future. And we have this little bird who is obviously like a messenger of the past. Maybe she's intuitively known this for a very long time. Her guides have been nudging her, saying, hey, take a look at the past and then let it go. Your future doesn't have to look like your past did. Don't worry, you can change things. You can have the success that you want. You don't have to worry that it's going to be a repetitious thing from your childhood where, partnership equates to a difficult life. Partnership can equate to a very stable and secure life. You can, have a partner that is like they double the success that you could have. See, I don't think she's had that. I think she only knows that when you get with a partner, there's a potential that everything gets so much worse. So she must have been primed for that. She either had that as a previous partnership or she had that in childhood. For this fictional story, please remember these are fictional. I'm a fictional storyteller, not a psychic. I do not have psychic abilities. I say that all the time. But rather, these are interesting stories. It's just food for thought. Like, let's watch these characters play this out. How would we do things different? How do we like or dislike the characters' actions? The fact that we have, because I think this is a very relatable story, actually. We have a 10 of Pentacles here. This is the thing, right? This is the thing she's wanted and has prohibited herself from having, and she's just now putting her finger on why. And I love that she's no longer like judging herself, saying, well, maybe I'm just not somebody who really wants to give. And she's like, but I do want to give. So why is it that I don't have somebody in my life? She's nailed it now. She knows why she hasn't actually brought somebody into her life, and her future is going to look different because there's that 10 of Pentacles. She is going to, you notice a transformation with the butterfly. You notice that she is open, genuinely open to this new mindset that, wait a minute, I could have a really stable partnership. Partnership does not equate to drama and destruction. It doesn't. Okay, that means I could have something wonderful. Hell yeah, she could. She could have a King of Pentacles. It doesn't mean that she has to meet someone who's just perfect with no flaws, no nothing, right? Because they have maybe some of their own baggage, but they've got a lid on it for a reason. This is somebody who will have their own life story, but they're also a king. Characters that master themselves through life. Every human is flawed, right? We're all going to have our traumas and our responses and our past when we didn't know as much and we weren't maybe able to make as good of decisions, and even when we think we're making better decisions, sometimes we still make big mistakes. But ultimately, the kings, the queens, the emperors, and the empresses, they get to that status because they have chosen to learn and grow throughout this lifetime. So the flaws and the mistakes and the things that they do, they also have the capacity to self-reflect, grow from those experiences, and keep becoming a better version of themselves. That's what I think she didn't have a lot of experience with in the past. Maybe that's why she was dodging really getting into a long-term connection. She's going to meet somebody that is really, they're a king. They're everything we just said. This is who she needed to welcome into her world. And I feel like, wow, King of Cups. Either she's going to meet two amazing kings, either of which would be a fantastic match, or this is still describing the person that will be a match for her, that will be both grounded and very emotionally available, very loving, very able to, offer their heart. Ironically, they could be somebody who has had any kind of an issue that they have overcome that could be in their baggage, and they have overcome something. They are sober. They are, they have done a lot of work on themselves. And ironically, that could be exactly the person that she winds up feeling safest with in the world, because it's like, wow, you came through your struggles, and you had the courage and the tenacity to grow from it. That shows what an extra strong person you are, to have had some struggles and to have grown through those struggles and become the man or woman that you are today. So this, I just say that because obviously we see this person drinking from their own cup. Now, this is a loving individual who wears their heart on the outside, um, but they may be very conscientious about what they drink. This person may say, I don't touch alcohol. I don't drink anymore. I drink water. And that could be like, oh my gosh, what a wonderful partnership for me, because that was at the underlying, concern that she's had all this lifetime, which is, can I have a stable relationship? Um, this feels like it's bigger than that. It's just that we saw that card that said drunkard. And so, but that's just kind of like a word that we could apply to anything that is, like in excess. I don't want it to be about drinking per se, but that's just one example in this. That, hey, a lot of characters have, struggles with not doing something in excess, and yet we have a king who looks like they have really mastered themselves. We have the Hierophant. Wow. We have the World. We have the Devil. This is the energy of, well, both of these cards have marriage on them, right? She's in a wedding dress, and she has the timer here. This is a marriage, also literally getting married. And this is the fear that still is there. And here's the reality of the storyline. It says that um, these characters, no matter how much they've evolved and grown, does it mean that they won't have slip ups, or does it mean that she or this character are then somehow perfect and free from fears and free from the things that could still, um, factor into their actions and behaviors? No, it just means that when two characters want to do their best, they want to be together, they want to build a new life together, they want to move forward in a relationship that, sets a tone for, like, let's do things really well. This says, even when the fears pop up, and they will, because what human lives without fear? None. They'll be more equipped to say, yeah, but at the core of everything, we want to do things different. So when those fears creep in, or when struggles pop up, or if there's, a worry about a relapse, or, something like that, we can face it. We're not going to be, because there's also two of us now, so we'll be stronger together, not weaker. And because we're both committing to this, I want to do things different. I want to have a strong relationship. I want to partner. I feel like we have a lot of love here that's going to be able to conquer the devil. We have a lot of strength, because it doesn't mean these characters will be perfect, but it does say that together they could actually have a stronger vibe. So really positive energy on this one about, kind of like overcoming fears, and even recognizing that overcoming fears doesn't mean fears won't pop back up, but it does mean, yeah, but we're going to face them, and we're not going to let that sabotage stuff. We're not going to let fear sabotage. We're not going to let anything that, just human frailties sabotage the ability to have a loving and beautiful relationship. Everything can be handled if we walk into it realistically. Well, of course, we're going to have problems here and there, but we're going to face it. I loved this one. All right, you guys, take care. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.